The college football experience, Auburn Tigers 2022 college football preview show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, presented by WynnBET. Bet $50 at WynnBET, get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBET. Download the WynnBET app now or visit wynnbet.com. That's WINNBet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already played fantasy on Sleeper, but now you can win cold, hard cash with their over-under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100 at sleeper.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the SGPN app is live in the App Store and Google Play Store. It is your home for all of our free picks and podcasts, so grab that thing today and let it ride.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Football experience, Auburn Tigers 2022 season preview. We Tigers. I know we're quoting Coach O, but we Tigers for today. Auburn, look, if you're on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube right now, because you can watch all of our podcasts, 131 teams, where we're doing a solo podcast for every single team in the land, all the FBS, and we'll give you an FCS preview. That's why you subscribe to the College Football Experience. But also, you can see me rocking this sweet-ass Damian Craig jersey from back in the 90s. Shout out to Damian Craig.
It looked like it might have fit you in the 90s.
Yeah, definitely true. Look, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
Nobody knows nothing. Somebody knows. Double the price. But no one touches Dundee.
Come to the land down under. It's always the best spot to talk college football, because we do it year round, and I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh! Well,
he's the kind of guy that would drink a gallon of gasoline so he could piss in your campfire. You could drop this guy off at the Arctic Circle wearing a pair of bikini underwear without his toothbrush, and tomorrow afternoon he's going to show up at your poolside with $1 million smile and a fistful of pesos. Woo!
I am that kind of guy, aren't I?
You are that kind of guy, Patty C. And right now, we're talking Auburn Tigers, and there's always drama going on at the University of Auburn, I feel like. But hey, look, I always had a soft spot for the Auburn Tigers growing up. I enjoyed them.
Oh yeah, you gotta love Auburn.
It's something about them, man. The Patrick Nix days, the Damian Craig days. I always enjoyed my time.
I mean, running back you. If you're a fan of football and you don't appreciate running back you, there's something wrong with you.
Ooh, is it more? What's more running back you, Georgia or Auburn?
Of late, you got to say Georgia.
Or do you throw Oklahoma State in the mix?
Have they been cranking them out?
Well, I just think Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders, Tatum Bell.
Yeah.
The guy just went to the Carolina Panthers, from the Canadian guy.
No. Now I'm forgetting his name, but yeah, he's a speedster.
Anyway,
I'm gonna pull that up.
There's other running backs too for Oklahoma State. I feel like someone else that went recently to the NBA or to the NFL. Jeez, I'm all over the place.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard. How do we draw a blank on that? People were like, okay, let me stop listening here. Well, we're going to talk a little Auburn Tigers, but I guess before we talk some Auburn Tigers, I think we need to. Yes, we're talking Auburn Tigers. Play the Dundee music. This is a rich program, Patty C. Pat Dye. Terry Bowden. Jeez, I almost said Tommy Bowden. I can't talk tonight. Josh Malzahn. Gene Chisholm. I mean, Auburn football is a rich history. I mean, Bo Jackson,
James Brooks.
Lionel James.
Come on.
I mean, you can go on
Cadillac
and on
Williams,
and on.
Ronnie Brown.
Yes, I mean they've been just killing it for a long time since the 80s, Patty. See, they have what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 double-digit win seasons. Who's to say this year won't be another one? Let's hop into it. Let's talk a little Auburn Tiger football. WarEagle, baby.
Boom. Last year was rough.
Well, look, that's the thing. I feel like from the start, more so, I know we're previewing all these teams, but Auburn, you fired Gus Malzahn and you hired Bryan Harsin. You give him 1 year and really kind of the wheels fell off. Look, Bryan Harsin he's 82-31 as a head coach. Look, you go back and look, you hadn't won at LSU in 20 years. You accomplished that in year 1 with Bryan Harsin, right? I get it. You had an 8-point loss to Penn State in a game I felt like you were in. Georgia whooped you, but Georgia was fucking pretty damn good last year. 15 players drafted.
Yeah, and Georgia was whipping you before he got there.
Yeah. Texas A&M whooped you. Okay, that was in College Station. That happens. You blow a big lead to Mike Leach in Mississippi State. Mike Leach, our guy, friend of the program. Can't talk too bad about that. But at the same time, you had that lead. You were there. Okay, then you blow a game at South Carolina. That one you circle as the bad loss, right?
Beamer had some magic late in the year, though. I mean, South Carolina, if I'm remembering correctly,
they weren't that good. East Carolina
they beat Florida 40-17 in the second half.
Florida didn't everyone beat Florida?
I guess a little bit. But Florida also hung with Bama.
East Carolina should have beat South Carolina. I watched that game and I thought South Carolina sucked.
That was a bad loss.
But South Carolina, it's a bad loss for Auburn. And then comes if Tank Bigsby, who is a damn good running back, if he doesn't go out of bounds, and he
lets that clock
then
run.
They beat Nick Saban in year 1, and I guarantee you they're probably extending him.
Yeah, he's got a statue outside of Jordan Hare.
Now, did Harsin get conservative? A little too conservative in that game? I agree. Did Harsin perhaps make the wrong decision, stretching the game to overtime? I agree. Maybe
was that his decision?
Or I'm sorry, in the first overtime, I'm saying he could have went for 2.
Okay.
Instead of playing this game with Alabama.
Yeah.
Where that I'm not even going to say I fully agree with that.
Up to that final drive,
they were the better team all day that day.
Yeah.
Bryce Young is like a 95-yard drive, whatever that was.
Yeah. Heisman Trophy winner earned it that.
But they wanted to fire him. They were trying everything they could to fire Bryan Harsin. I felt like,
to me, it's just so typical of like the same thing with Rich Rodriguez at Michigan. Only the opposite, right? Whereas Rich Rodriguez at Michigan is like a country guy, and Michigan fancies themselves Michigan men. Blah blah blah. We can't have a West Virginian leading us, right? Harsin is a Mormon in from Idaho. Right?
Is he Mormon?
I don't even know if he's Mormon,
okay.
But I assume he's Mormon because he's from Idaho. But then he comes down to the Bible Belt South. I think he just doesn't feel like what they want down there. That's my take. I could be completely wrong about that, but there's no reason for them to be so sour on him right out the gates. I mean, he was pretty good for the first half. The first 2 games, he outscored his opponents 122-10.
Well,
I mean, there was trash.
Akron and Alabama State.
But still, why would you be upset about those performances? Like
they almost lost to Georgia State, though. That score is deceiving. That 10-point win, they should have lost to Georgia State. But I just still think it's year 1. Relax. Yeah. Let the guy do his thing. I get it. They lost to Houston in the bowl game, but I'll be honest. You can't. Bowl games are crazy these days.
He was taking over for a 6-5 team from Malzahn. It's not like yes, there is more talent there than a 6-5. Or 6-7 record should have, but
what's the win? Okay, I mean, obviously the win against Alabama, they had their chance. If Tank Bigsby's smarter, if he plays that over, which I'm sure, if he had that opportunity, he would do it. Sometimes you just call it, you make a mistake. Chris Webber with the timeout, you know what I mean? Like this shit happens.
But big win. How about beating 10-2 Ole Miss by 11
or
points?
LSU in Baton Rouge, which you hadn't done in 20 years?
Yeah.
Or Arkansas, Sam Pulled Pork Pittman. You won by 15.
They went 9-4
Arkansas.
last year.
Yeah. At that point, if you look like through the first 6 weeks, it was looking kind of good. Like first 8 weeks, really. It's really the A&M game. Okay. But also, Bo Nix got injured. You remember that? Bo Nix was injured. They had TJ Finley playing some of these games.
Yeah, through the first 7 games, their only losses were at Penn State and to eventual national champion Georgia. Other than that, you're winning against good football teams.
Yeah, and that Penn State game was like I feel like even the score was.
The wheels fell off late, and then
Yeah.
Auburn fans became Auburn fans and went insane overnight.
I mean, there's talk that he might not be there, Patty C, like by the time October comes because the buyout lowers. Or by the time November comes.
Whenever that buyout lowers, they're just out the door. It's like he could be 6-1.
He's 82-31 as a head coach. I get it. He was in the Mountain West. He was in the Sun Belt. But I mean, come on. You give him a full, like I think when you commit to a coach, unless you go 0-12 or 1-11,
yeah,
you gotta give the guy some time.
Yeah. His second to last game, they lost in 4 overtimes to the national runner-up.
They were up the whole game.
Yeah, and
the whole game.
They lost in the bowl game to an 11 or 12 win Houston team.
Yeah,
they lost by 4 points. They were good. They passed the eye test. They weren't great, but it was year 1. That seems like
they didn't have steady quarterback play. Bo Nix was young. He was also injured. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's just bad luck in a way from the quarterback position. But
it takes a little time, guys.
71st in scoring offense. They were a season ago. 66th in rushing offense. 59th in passing offense. 67th in total offense. Patty C.
Not great.
The new offensive coordinator is Eric Kissaw.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a skeptic because he was at Colorado with Dan Hawkins when he destroyed the program. But
personal grievance there.
But I mean, he walks into a decent. So TJ Finley's back at quarterback. You know, Bo Nix transferred out to Oregon. TJ Finley, I think he's going to be the starter, but they also brought in Zach Calzada. I ordered a Calzada when I was in New York City. I went into an Italian place. I ordered a Calzada, dude. The thing was delicious. All right.
TJ Finley only 54.7% completion percentage versus Bo Nix's 61.
Calzada wasn't setting the world on fire either. I think that's the biggest thing for Arkansas. For Auburn's success this year. I think the quarterback position is going to have to be key. They got to play better, whether it's Calzada, whether it's Finley. I think it's going to be Finley. I think it's going to be TJ Finley, but
he had 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. Bo Nix 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So they seem to be having a good ratio there, regardless of who they have at that spot. But having 17 passing touchdowns on the season at Auburn, when you scored as many points as you did, like early in the season, they were leaning on the run. It's clear, and supposedly, with the lack of receiving core they have this year, they're going to have to do it again.
Well, Tank Bigsby is a beast. Look, I gave him a hard time about the out of bounds, much like everybody, but he's human. We all make mistakes. He's a beast. He's a beast. They also got Jarquez Hunter. He can play as well. 4 of 5 starters back on the O-line. Patty C, circle that. That's impressive.
That's huge.
Tight end John Samuel Schenker is back. They got a few tight ends there. I think Tyler Fromm, and keep an eye out. I call this guy the Mummy. His name is Brandon Frazier. not Brendan. Brandon Frazier.
Okay.
1 of 3 wideouts are back, being Shedrick Jackson. I think that's an area of concern. Defensively, Derek Mason took a pay cut to leave. I think he was like, you know what? They were underappreciated. I'm gone. He goes to Oklahoma State for a lot less money. So new defensive coordinator, Jeff Schmedding. Great name.
What was the offensive lineman? Schenker? We got Schenker and Schmedding.
The offensive coordinator. What are you talking about?
No,
yeah. The tight end, John Samuel Schenker.
Yeah.
And you got Jeff Schmedding. This is great. Interesting hire, but I think it could be a slept-on one. He's got roots back to Boise, Eastern Washington.
We were doing a little review on his credentials. Kind of impressive. Had some decent years.
I can tell you this: when he left Eastern Washington, they really fell off. So that was encouraging. From there, I was like, whoa. They do lose their top 2 tacklers from a season that goes to Kobe McLean and Chandler Wooten's gone. But 3 of 4 starters back on the D line led by Colby Wooden. And I think this one here, this Oregon transfer coming in, I know I'm getting ahead of myself with the transfer portal, but Jason Jones was a big get by them. Also, watch out for the edge rusher, Derek Hall. He seems to be a beast. Linebacking core, 1 of 2. is back, and that is Owen Popo. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of that. But 3 of 4 in the secondary. Coming back, led by Zion Pickett. But
How many total returning starters on D there?
But they got to replace Smoke Monday and Roger McCreary. Those guys were beast.
Smoke Monday was good.
I am seeing they have 7 of their 11 back. Maybe you can make an argument 6 because of some injuries.
That's decent.
Patty C, talk to me about the recruiting rankings.
Well, first I'll say first team all conference. Only Tank Bigsby on offense and only Derek Hall on defense. So the prognosticators aren't too high on them from a elite talent perspective. Second team, no players on offense and only Colby Wooden on the defense. So defensive line looks good there. Recruiting rankings, they've slipped a little bit under Harsin's watch, but they were slipping a little bit.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Pretty much. Usually pretty good. Since 2018, they've been 12, 13, 8, and then 18 and 21 over the last 2 seasons. That's good for 3, 6, 5, 7, and 9 within the SEC. So slipping down those rankings a little bit of a concern. But they've done well in the transfer portal, ranked number 22 this past offseason.
I'm going to talk about that in a minute here, but first I got to get us paid. I want to tell you that the college football experience Auburn Tiger WarEagle preview is brought to you by WinBet. Bet $50 at WinBet and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Download the WinBet app now or visit winbet.com. That's WINNBet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already play fantasy on Sleeper, but now you can win cold, hard cash with their over-under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone or join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. That's sleeper.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the SGPN app is live in the App Store and Google Play Store. It is your home for all of our free picks, podcasts, and content. So grab that thing today and let it ride. We're also brought to you by Athletic Greens and their AG1 supplement. You're probably wondering, hey, what is this stuff? Well, with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. And this special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, your recovery, your focus, and your aging. All those things will turn you into Bo Jackson. All right? Trust me. It costs,
especially the adaptogens.
Yes, the adaptogens. It costs less than $3 a day. AG1 supports better sleep quality and recovery. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/SGP. Once again, that is athleticgreens.com/SGP to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. We're also brought to you by IP Vanish. Did you know that browsing online using incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? That's right. Without added security, you might as well be giving away all your private data to hackers, to advertisers, your ISP, and other prying eyes. That's why here at SGPN Studio, we use IP Vanish VPN to make it truly easy to stay private and secure on the internet. IP Vanish helps you safely browse the internet by encrypting 100% of your data. That means your private details, your emails, your passwords, your communications, your browsing history, and more will be completely shielded from falling into the wrong hands. Even your physical location will be hidden. IP Vanish makes you virtually invisible online. It's that simple. Maybe that's the problem, Patty C. The alumni were trying to get Harsin fired, but maybe he has IP Vanish.
He has IP Vanish.
Right? He's just killing it. So go to ipvanish.com/SGP and use that promo code SGP and claim 70% off your savings. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. And we are back talking Auburn Tiger football, Patty C. Woo. WarEagle.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, I didn't stop it. WarEagle, my bad. Patty C. I was surprised when you told me the transfer portal rankings because I get it. They brought in Zach Calzada. I was not that impressed, but I mean, to be fair, I believe Calzada was a freshman.
Yeah.
So, yes, he could improve.
I don't know that necessarily the transfer portal rankings are based at all on production. I think it may be based on what they were from a Stars standpoint when they entered into, like, they're just using basically old data.
Okay. Well, they brought in Jason Jones, defensive tackle for Oregon. I think that's a big get for them. Linebacker Eugene Asante comes in from North Carolina. And wide receiver Dazzling Warsome comes in from the Miami Hurricanes, as well as safety Craig McDonald from Iowa State.
Dazzling?
Yeah, pretty great name.
That is.
Pretty great name. But I want to talk about what they lost, because in my opinion, I think you could make the case. You could make the case that they lost the transfer portal. I don't think they're factoring in what they lost, correct?
Yeah, I don't think so.
So when you look at this, Eric Reed, cornerback, leaves Auburn for Georgia Tech. Roe Torrance, cornerback, leaves Auburn for Arizona State. They also lose quarterback Demetrius Davis, which probably would have never played, so this one probably doesn't hurt because he goes to Alabama State, right? But they also lose Ian Matthews on the defensive line to Missouri. Tight end J.J. Pegus, I think it is, to Ole Miss. I think he's pretty good, too. Defensive lineman Lee Hunter to UCF. Romello Height, a linebacker, to USC. Defensive lineman Daniel Foster Allen to South Alabama. So he probably wasn't going to get too much burn, but maybe. You never know. And then they lost Kobe Hudson, wide receiver, to UCF. Gus Malzahn grabbing a couple guys. Dre Butler, another defensive lineman, to Liberty. A safety, Amari Harvey, to Georgia Tech. Bo Nix to Oregon. To Sean Manning on the defensive line to Kentucky.
I mean, Bo Nix, like, what do you think of him?
And Elijah Canyon, wide receiver, to Purdue. I think Bo Nix is better than Zach Calzada.
Yeah, I mean, Bo Nix had that one play where he's running all over the field, and he finally ends up throwing the touchdown. It's pretty amazing. It made him look like a superstar with potential. His issue has been consistency, not necessarily potential.
Well, to me, that's the thing, is they got worse at the quarterback spot to me.
Yeah.
Right? And I also thought they lost the transfer portal.
That's two big L's.
Now we'll see what can happen here. Las Vegas is saying the win total for the Auburn Tigers here, it's 6.5, but it's plus 130 on the over, minus 150 on the under currently. I mean, these are all subject to change by the time you're listening to this, but let's hop into it, because Auburn doesn't have a road game until October 8th, which is almost unbelievable. They start out with a big one. Patty C. The Mercer Bears are coming to Jordan Hare on September 3rd.
They don't have a road game till October 8th. Unbelievable. I know you just said that. I'm just reiterating in my mind what you just said.
So I actually, maybe Harsin could save his job, because I think they're going to beat the tar out of the Mercer Bears at Jordan Hare on September 3rd.
I think you're right.
Saturday, September 10th, San Jose State and Brent Brennan come to town. I think Auburn's going to win that, but watch out, because I think San Jose State might be a little bit better than what people think.
Man, that would be a surprise. But if Georgia State could, granted, Georgia State was better than what people thought they were going to be.
San Jose State went on the road and beat Arkansas, I think it was 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe 3 years ago. I can't recall. Look, I think Auburn's going to win this game, but I do think San Jose State is going to be a little bit better than what projected as in the Mountain West. So then comes week 3.
This one's a tough one.
Penn State comes to town. Sean Clifford, I feel like in year 55.
Yeah.
Who are you going with here? I'm going to go Auburn.
I feel like, this is a 1-to-1 split kind of series, and I feel like Auburn's going to be a little better.
This is going to be a really close game, I feel like. It's going to come down to a couple big plays. Now, I kind of think Penn State has the better team. On a neutral site, I think I would take Penn State.
I think,
but at Jordan Hare,
you rated that as one of the biggest advantages, at least in the SEC, for a home field advantage. I agree with you. It's way up there. I think you had it at what, number 2 in the?
I think so. I have to check it again, but yeah, we went through. You can find all of that, by the way, on our Twitter account, the College Football Experience at TCE on SGPN.
Big home field advantage, though, and I think that you're right. I think that's enough to get them over the head.
So I got them 3-0. You got them 3-0 too.
I think I got them 3-0. Yeah.
Win total 6.5. Next, the Missouri Tigers come to town on September 24th.
That's a win.
I got them 4-0.
Yeah.
After that, Brian Kelly and LSU come to town on Saturday, October 1st. Patty C, I got them losing this one.
You really think LSU is going to have that? Both these teams were 6-7 last year.
I think LSU is more talented, and I think they're better at the quarterback spot.
Who do they got again? They got
Jaden Daniels, and I think Brian Kelly with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, we'll utilize him correctly.
Yeah, I think LSU is the better team right now. on paper. Now, obviously, Jordan Hare can change that,
Yes.
but I just think with
These
TJ
teams-
Finley, I think LSU is a better football team right now.
I'm going Auburn.
And I think LSU won the transfer portal.
Although I think Auburn will have one loss by this point in the season. So I'll say, I don't even know that I do. They could easily be 5-0. They could easily be 5-0 after this. But
I got them 4-1.
okay, I'll say 4-1.
Then they go between the hedges at Georgia, Sanford Stadium. That's a loss, right?
Yeah.
Or is any chance? Any chance?
I mean, in this series, yes, but it's been a blowout lately in this series. So I feel like Georgia's a distinct advantage here.
I think Georgia rolls them. So I got them at 4-2.
Back-to-back road.
And here's the thing. They have owned Ole Miss lately.
Auburn has?
Yeah. I think it's 7 or 8 in a row, if memory serves me correct.
Well, there you go. Let's continue that streak then.
I got them winning.
So that's 4-2 through the first 6 games of the season, or is that 7 games?
No, I got them.
That's
That's
5-2.
5-2.
5-2.
Now, here's the bad thing. We already previewed the Arkansas game. When we did the Arkansas preview, go listen to it. I had Arkansas winning that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I still feel like that's probably true.
Yeah. So
I don't know. The Plains makes it a tough place for Arkansas to play, but I think Arkansas is better.
Yeah, I got Arkansas winning that, right?
Yeah.
So that puts them at, what did I just say? 5-3.
5-3.
5-3. And you got them at 5-3 as well?
Yeah.
At Mississippi State, I got that as a loss. In Starkville, Leach beat them last year. I think Leach is only going to be better this year.
I'll say they get one of those two, though, against Arkansas and Mississippi State. So you got them at 5-4.
Yeah, 5-4.
I got them at 6-3.
I got them home to Texas A&M. This should be a good one, but I think A&M is going to get this one.
I do too.
So I got them now at 5-5.
Yeah.
Then they're home to Western Kentucky. I think they beat Western Kentucky, and I think they go bowling.
6-5.
And then they're
I got them at 7-4.
Yeah, then they're at Alabama, and I think that's a loss. I think they go 6-6. They win the bowl game, whatever the hell bowl game they have.
Yeah, but it's 6.5 is the number.
6.5 is the number.
You got them going under. I got them going over.
But here's my problem with going over. I thought about this long and hard, right?
Yeah.
I said, what if they upset Texas A&M on November 12th? Then they'll be on the over, right?
Yeah.
But I also said, Colby, you have them beating Penn State. You have them beating Ole Miss in Oxford, right? Those are losable games. I even think Missouri could maybe give them a game. You know, so it's like,
I mean, it's the SEC West. It's no freaking joking.
I think they're going to be. I think they're more likely to be like. It would not surprise me at all if they're 7-5. But I also think percentage-wise, it'll be more likely that they're 6-6. And there's also this factor, Patty C. This is a potential disaster scenario. We've already heard about this, that the buyout could happen, and by October 22nd, that bye week, they fire Bryan Harsin.
Yeah.
So imagine this. Imagine they start out 2-0 and they lose to Penn State and they lose to Missouri and he's fired. Right? Or they wait until after that, but the wheels will come off and then they have a terrible season.
Yeah.
When you have a situation like this with the coach, it makes you nervous to bet the over, to me, because there's a potential, like there's potential for them to have a terrible season if they fire him. You know, I can see like people just saying, oh, whatever. You know, you saw it with LSU last year with Orgeron.
Oh, yeah. If they're trying to get him out the door and he's struggling, he needs to be winning early.
You saw it with Florida, with Mullen.
Yeah, exactly.
These things happen where, like, and then people buy out. Like, they're not paying attention. The players just like, whatever.
Yeah, and especially if the season plays out kind of the same exact way it did last year with some early big wins, and then they start to, like, peter down the stretch. 2 or 3 losses in a row, especially if there's a bad loss in there, they'll pull the plug.
You start getting opt-outs for the NFL draft. You'll get all this stuff for transfers. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think that's why it's also smarter to bet the under, is because if something like that happens, they might lose to fucking Western Kentucky on November 19th. I highly doubt that, but I'm saying if you saw it, it happens.
I would very much doubt that. They're far too talented to lose to Western Kentucky under any circumstances. But that would be
insane.
It
Florida that was like hanging around, like Samford or something?
Yeah, that's
like
true.
When you buy out, when the players quit, they quit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying they're gonna quit, but you never know.
I mean, Fuente struggled with this for years. Helton struggled with this for years. When the administration and the fan base isn't bought in, it kills the locker room too. It sours everything. And so he's kind of facing that. It's very important that he.
So what if he's fired by October 22nd? Would that change your opinion?
Of course,
on them winning at Mississippi State like you had them, or
winning one of those?
Yeah.
No, it definitely does. I think if this season goes bad for them, it could go very bad. But I'm looking at this right now. They've had consecutive 6-win seasons. Take a guess when the last time they went 3 consecutive seasons without at least 8 wins in one of them.
90s?
1978 was the last time they've went a third straight season without 8 wins. So this team wins, and they're very proud. And last year they were very good. They lost some close games that they shouldn't have lost. I think we're going to have a rebound situation a little bit.
Do they have the worst quarterback situation in the SEC West?
I don't think Finley's god awful, but
would you put KJ Jefferson above him?
Yes.
Would you put Bryce Young above him?
Yes.
Would you put Jaden Daniels above him?
Yes.
Would you put
the dude from USC? Who's that?
No, SEC West.
No, but the guy who went to Ole Miss from
Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
I'd put Jackson Dart above him.
Yeah.
The question, Max Johnson. I think Max Johnson / Haynes King. I think I'd probably go Max Johnson, Haynes King.
I don't know. That's equally shitty. I think I'd go TJ Finley over those
really
guys. Yeah.
I don't think I would.
Maybe Max Johnson. I don't know anything about Haynes King.
Well, I think Max Johnson will be the starter, but we'll find out. Look, Auburn, I'm rooting for you. I got the Damian Craig. We need Damian Craig 2.0 to come out of nowhere. Maybe that's what TJ Finley can be this year. All right.
There you go.
I'm on the under. Last chance for you to take the under, buddy.
I'm not on the under. I believe it's like a Harbaugh kind of situation when everyone said, "Oh, it's done. They're going over," and then, hey, the program is what it is.
That's true. Everyone thought Harbaugh going to be fired.
Yeah,
gets to the
invitation, as it were.
And they get stomped, but still, it was a good season. He beat Ohio State. I mean, come on. All right, folks, both on the under. Oh no, I'm on the under. You're on the over.
Yep.
Jeez, I swear I'm a little slow today. All right, folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience because we're breaking down all 131 teams. We'll hit on the over and under every single one of them. We've done this for years and years and years, so check us out. We're on YouTube at The College Football Experience, and also we're on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. If you give us a 5-star review, take a screenshot and, show me that thing on Twitter. I'm at the Colby D. Just DM me that screenshot, and we'll send you a College Football Experience t-shirt. How about that?
Boom.
How about that? And what else, Patty C? Check out the College Basketball Experience because the jungle is awesome. Bruce Pearl building that thing, and you better believe me, Patty C, and NC Nick also talk college basketball year round. We host the College Basketball Experience, we host the College Football Experience, and we host the College Baseball Experience. Auburn Tigers doing damage in college baseball as well. They keep a good program all around. Bruce Pearl brought that basketball program back. They're rolling.
Yeah. Auburn, proud.
They're rolling.
Sports school.
They are rolling. So subscribe to all that. Check out the SGPN app. Also, I mean, there's a ton of other great podcasts there that I think you'll like. The MLB gambling podcast going on this summer, the CFL gambling podcast, if you like the Canadian Football League, the USFL gambling podcast, Birmingham, Alabama, me, Patty C, and NC Nick also host the USFL gambling podcast, as I know you guys were great to keep that spring league going on there in Birmingham. We love football here and check out the Sports Gambling Podcast because they have just cover everything when it comes to the NFL, or whether it's Triple Crown, whether it's NHL Stanley Cup. We got you covered. So check out all that stuff. Get that SGPN app. You'll have access to all of that. And Patty, see anything else you want to say about these Auburn Tigers?
Well, just on that USFL comment, the state of Alabama has a special place in our hearts for hosting the USFL and bringing us at least 10 more weeks of football that we didn't have prior to this year. So thank you, good people of Alabama, for being so rabid about your football.
They say the football capital of the South.
It is.
I love it. Birmingham, the whole state.
It's a beautiful place.
Love it. I even like South Alabama and UAB and Troy. Shout out to all those programs.
WarEagle.
Yes, WarEagle, though. Damian Craig jersey on, Patty C, making me remember the good old days. Oh, yeah. I love it. Let's go Auburn Tigers. This is the college football experience, Auburn Tiger style. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
Gonna keep it moving wild, gonna keep it swinging, baby. I'm a real wild child.